I was born in the country of Moldova on July 29, 1997. In July of 1997, the President of the United States was Bill Clinton, and the Vice President was Al Gore. Our Secretary of State was Madeleine Albright. At that time, the Republicans controlled the House. After doing much research, in my opinion, there were no monumental historical events that took place on July 29, 1997. However, throughout the month of July in 1997, there are several events or facts that you may find interesting. First, there were NASA accomplishments. On July 1st, NASA launched the spacecraft Columbia. The mission lasted 15 days, 16 hours, and 45 minutes. There were 7 crew members, 2 of which were females, 5 of which were males. The primary focus of this mission was the microgravity science laboratory, where many experiments were performed. On July 4th, the U.S. space probe Pathfinder landed on Mars. The Pathfinder mission was an important first step in rovers for NASA. Second, there were several world news events. On July 1st, the transfer of sovereignty over Hong Kong from the United Kingdom to the People's Republic of China was accomplished. This is often referred as the handover or the return. This landmark event marked the end of the British rule in Hong Kong and is often considered to mark the end of the British Empire. Also, on July 8th, NATO invited Poland, Hungary, and the Czech Republic to join their alliance. It was the biggest single expansion of the Western Alliance in its 48-year history. President Clinton called it a great day for the cause of freedom. On July 21st, the USS Constitution was fully restored, and to celebrate her 200th birthday, she set sail for the first time in 116 years. The headlines of the local news read, "Old Ironside sails again. The USS Constitution goes to sea to mark the 200th anniversary of warship's triumph over Britain." Third, there were many tragedies, which resulted in many deaths. An Indonesia ferry sank and 77 people were killed. A terrorist suicide bomber took place in the city of Jerusalem, killing a total of 14 men, children, and women. One significant scientific achievement that happened on July 25th, scientists announced the first human stem cell to be cultured in a laboratory using tissue taken from an aborted human embryos. On July 1997 was a significant month and year in the sports world. There were many events that happened during this year. On July 1st, the Nevada Athletic Commission suspended the world heavyweight boxing champion Mike Tyson for biting Holyfield's ear during a fight. Later, on July 9th, Mike Tyson was banned from boxing. On July 8th, baseball's AAA American Association, which was formed in the year 1902, was voted to be disbanded. On July 10th, the Chicago Cubs played in their 5,000th consecutive game without giving up a hit. On July 22nd, Greg Maddux, who was a pitcher for the Chicago Cubs, threw a complete game with only having pitched 76 pitches the entire game, which is very rare in baseball. On July 25th, Green Bay Packers quarterback Brett Favre re-signed his contract that was worth $50 million for 7 years. $50 million for 7 years is a lot of money back then for a football player. On July 27th, the Detroit Tigers pitcher was retired Detroit pitchers Hal Newhouser's number 16 jersey. Also on July 27th, the Tour de France was won by Jan Ullrich of Germany. Music in the 90s was very popular. But not a lot of significant events took place in July of 1997, though. The number one song was by Elton John, named Candle in the Wind. On July 19th, the song I'll Be Missing You debuted by Puff Daddy and Faith Evans. Also, on July 5th, Mrs. Miller, who was an American-known singer, died at the age of 90. Her cause of death was unknown. On July 25th, rocker Rick Danko gets sentenced in Japan for drug smuggling. There were not many important movies or films that took place in 1997. But on July 15th, Gerald McKenzie was awarded $26.6 million for being fired from Miller Brewing for sexual harassment for relaying a Seinfeld episode to a fellow coworker. In closing, I am thankful that I was born in the month of July 1997. But according to my parents, the most important thing that happened in July of 1997 was, of course, me being born. It is interesting to look back into history and learn about the many different historical events in the year and month I was born.